Hey, good Thursday morning, July 31st here, just before 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Michael Clark with BAM Weather with your latest long-range forecast assessment here as we're going forward into now August and taking a look at the weather patterns and big cool down coming um, in what looks to potentially be a cooler August potentially here, especially in the east. And we're going to want to watch the tropics too in the month of August as well. Hey, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with a friend if the video brings you any value today. Let's start out with a check on just severe weather in general. Since 2000, we're essentially running the second most active severe weather season in 25 years, with a number of high wind events that I believe will play a role in the final overall health index of the U.S. grains, right? U.S. Corn crop, especially, but beans as well. But this is the June wind report, almost 4,000 severe wind reports here in June. And then July, obviously, with the derecho coming through Iowa the other day. South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois has just been bombarded with wind events and major ones. In fact, over 90 reports at 75 miles per hour or greater in terms of that. And it's just been really, really busy. In fact, when you look at the charts of this is the year-to-date tornado reports, and we're running now third place. But look at the wind reports. Again, in second place by a healthy dose. 2011 is the leading year. It has been. 2011 is just going to be a year that's probably never beaten. But nonetheless, certainly running our fair share above the normal for just severe weather reports in general, right? So interesting nonetheless that how active it has been, not only with severe weather, but obviously with flooding and stuff as well. This is a look here at the Clarity platform, 7-day rainfall numbers. All right. And again, you can see where folks haven't seen the rain, but you can certainly see the folks that have seen it. And it's been a big deal here across north central Illinois, north central Indiana. There's been some rain. Arguably, you could argue there might have been too much rain in spots over here in northwest Indiana. That's 7.5 inches. Getting out here to the southeastern portion of Iowa, that's 9 inches of rain. Nonetheless, there's been a healthy dose of rainfall over the last 7 days. It's actually raining here this morning. Over here to the radar here across the eastern belt. A good area of showers and thunderstorms moving through the eastern belt right now as well, producing locally heavy rain and even some localized flooding as well this morning. So it's not a calm pattern right now, but what is coming is a cold front. These are temperatures this morning in the upper 40s across the northern plains and into northern Minnesota. It's 45 degrees in northern Minnesota this morning. A front's coming, and we're going to cool it down. It's going to be nice. We talked about this for a while. Now, big story. Rainfall the last 2 weeks, again, for the most part, has been adequate. Obviously don't need it down here. It hasn't been needed down in this region here. But we do need rain in places like small slithers of Kansas, Nebraska, and southwestern Iowa, portions of the Dakotas, western Nebraska, far northern North Dakota, and northern Minnesota, there in the southern Canadian prairies could use some rain. And southwest Michigan, I mean, it's just been so dry there. Rainfall has shut off essentially recently for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, but we've got some rain coming here this weekend. But the story elsewhere is the large area of above normal rains, really in the heart of the U.S. grains, where the probably the most densely populated area of corn and soybeans grown, running 200% of the normal, even a little bit locally higher in some spots the last 2 weeks. Temperatures from normal the last 2 weeks, they've been warm. The warmest departures have been focused in Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, portions of Missouri, where you've ran about 6 degrees above the average. But I continue to monitor overnight low temperature departures. And the area I'm really interested in, especially as just season in general wraps up for the U.S. grains, is what does it do? Because we've had adequate moisture here too. We've had a lot of rain and warm overnight lows, high humidity values. You always get obviously curious or concerned for the potential of disease, but just a lower quality crop at least being possible. Nonetheless, would just be interested to see how that pans out. I'll tell you, aside from the couple of small things I just mentioned, this has all the potential and all the makings to be the biggest corn crop we've ever seen, weather-wise. There's no major negating factors to it other than the wind reports that we've seen, the severe weather, and the warm nighttime temperatures, and maybe some spots having excessive rainfall. But again, not something you would correlate to anything major, massive problems. Could it prevent record crop? Possibly, right? That's just, again, kind of thinking out loud. I mean, no one's really going to know, but that's my thought process internally, right? Big cold front, though. Check it out. Isn't this nice? This is Friday morning. Temperatures here getting, let me move this up a little bit so you guys can see this. Getting into the low 50s. It's just going to be really nice Friday morning. Check out Saturday morning. Again, look at that. Low 50s, maybe even some upper 40s, getting into the eastern U.S. here and the Great Lakes and the Northeast. It's chilly. Early August there. I'm not going to complain, right? That's going to be super nice here this weekend. Saturday, Sunday morning, big reprieve in heat. The humidity's been brutal. The heat index values have been off the charts. It's felt like almost 130 degrees in Florida recently. It's just been awful. So we're gonna take a break a little bit for temperatures, right? And there is some indications of some significant heat making a return, especially across the deep south next week. These are temperatures by next Monday into the 100s. Now, getting in here to Tuesday of next week, and you can see some significant heat returning to the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. It's going to be pretty warm. Trough will be dominating in the east for now, keeping the high temperatures at bay. None of the extreme heat ever makes it into Iowa, Illinois right now, anytime soon. Okay. The GFS in the longer extended period tries to bring in some of that extreme heat into Missouri. Obviously, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, you're cooking. There's no question, but that's not as abnormally or abnormal as what it would be if that were further east, right? So just something to keep in mind there. But the GFS is a little bit hotter than the European. Nonetheless, here the pattern in the short term, it quiets down quite a bit. This is the RRFS computer model, the high resolution computer model. It is potential, I will note, here across the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast for some significant flash flooding. In fact, a moderate risk from the Weather Prediction Center today for some significant flooding. You don't see these too often. So eastern Pennsylvania, northwest New Jersey over here, the potential for at least some significant rainfall in the short term. Locally here in 24 hours, 6-7 inches of rain not off the table. But as that front pushes through, again, this is day 2 rain right here. You can see the lack of moisture starting to compress, kind of push everything south and east. The warmer, more humid environment, keeping the rains out of the area. There are going to be thunderstorm clusters, scattered thunderstorms being possible in the central northwestern third of the grain belt there in the Dakotas, Friday into Saturday. But we're keeping these scattered activity in the rainfall to the south and east. They need it. Again, they need some rain down there, so not a big deal seeing that. But let's look a little bit further into the forecast here. The GFS model, get into day 4. Again, some scattered threats here for some thunderstorms out in the central plains. Still dry in the east, and it will be for some time. There'll be some scattered thunderstorm threats here Sunday night and Monday here across the Ohio Valley. And then as we get into early next week, there's going to be a potential of a little bit of a stalled front, bringing some rain back into the forecast here by the 4th and 5th of August. Some of that rain could be heavy. In fact, there is a day 5 right now, a marginal risk for some locally or heavier rains here across the eastern belt down into the south and the east. Okay, so that makes sense based on the weather models. Again, this is day 7. I'm going to go to day 8. Okay, you can see some heavier rains again, possibly returning here next week. Dry until Monday or Tuesday, probably Monday, and then some wetter weather will come back here next week. In fact, we'll look at total rainfall just next 10 days. Right, this is 10-day rains here, the latest GFS model. And again, you can see where there could be some heavier rains here again. We're not lacking moisture in any sorts. We're going to get a little bit of a break, but we're not lacking rainfall by any means. Okay. So let's spell it out. 1 to 5 day on the left. Okay. Rainfall from normal. Okay. This is excluding really what's going on right now, if you will. This is kind of the next 5 days here, but there's the front that comes through. So you can see 1 to 5 in panel on the left, much below normal temperatures. A nice big cold front. 5 to 10, you can see the at to above normal rainfall is back. Excuse me. And you can see that here in early August, you're going to get some moisture. It's not going to be any lack thereof. Temperatures are going to be around normal, slightly below in the south and east where it's wetter. I'll move this over in the 11 to 15, 10 to 15. The warmth does come back for a little bit. The moisture is adequate in the east. There's still going to be some above normal rains there. So I think the first half of August is still active in the eastern grain belt for sure. And the warmer temperatures return for a time. But that is going to be knocked out here by our little friend here in the western Pacific. We're going to call this is Tropical Storm Corosa, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. You never know. Corosa. It's going to move, recurve here near Tokyo. It's going to come up, take a recurve to the right. You can see it on the weather models right here. You see that? See these all these low pressure centers right here, and they go. Watch this. They curve back to the right, and a secondary trough right behind it. You see this one here. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to alter the jet stream pattern. It's going to create a trough in East Asia. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, and again, you can see here's the disturbances right here. Watch the trough. There's the response to the first trough. All right, that's Sunday, August 3rd. So 6 to 10 days beyond that, probably closer to the latter of the 10 days, by the 13th or so of August, we may start to work in a cooler risk. But the big response, the bigger trough starts to show up in the east, probably closer to the 7th. 6 to 10 days beyond that, we've got a big front in the picture here. Sometimes between the 17th and 20th of August, they could bring another pretty big shot of cooler air, if you ask me. And when we look at this, you can see it in the North Pacific, where the North Pacific is dominated essentially by a trough, okay, or lack of any type of significant ridging, which to me, what I'm seeing in East Asia, all right, is there's a trough there, 1. There's another one, 2, right there. Okay, go forward. Continues to kind of hang out there. And I continue to see the troughs and the up and down in the Pacific. This is a wavy pattern, nothing significant or substantial in terms of a holding, if you will. And what this tells me is the core of the heat will probably centered in the south central and southwestern U.S., and a mean probably trough develops after the 15th of August in the east. That's kind of what my thought process is right now. The EPS is in all the way, and you can kind of see that. You can kind of see this. You see the big ridge and the warm heights here. There is warmth ahead prior to the 15th of August, but as we start to get beyond that period, I'm interested in a risk here of a trough working in. Okay, again, post August 15th. Right, GFS is trying to see it right there. See it? It's trying to see it. The timing's going to be here and there a little bit, but you can see the indication of the continual trough in the North Pacific and the tendency to move that east, and that's kind of supported in the MJO2, the Madden-Julian oscillation. Phases 1, 2, and 3 coming, and as that happens, again you see phase 2, 1. It's stormy, which again next week It is stormy, especially in the east and the southeast. You can see phase one indicating that. And then the front comes through. Again, there'll be some warmth. There will be some warmth. It'll struggle to be extraordinarily warm into the east. We can see just cooler temperature departures kind of dominating the central and eastern U.S. for the most part, phases 1, 2, and 3. But really no lack of any significant rainfall. Where it starts wet, it turns dry. Where it starts dry, it turns wet. Through these phases of the MJO, and what I'm seeing in the Pacific and what I'm seeing going forward here, and finally in our weeks 3 and 4 is more of that. It's active in week 3. You've got a hit or miss pattern here. No significant warmth unless that back out to the west and northwest. Week 4, you see the cooler departures east, right? But it starts wet in week 3, turns a little drier week 4. Again, the August forecast right now is wetter to the east, possibly continuing a little bit drier, far northern tier, southern Canadian prairies, probably going to be dealing with some lack of moisture concerns in the month of August, but wetter into the east. And again, we want to watch the tropics. There's some signals here for some tropical activity in the east in August. But the temperature probability, the temperature departure forecast, I mean, the last basically 7 runs of the CFS monthly for the August forecast is cooler east with the majority of the warmth west and southwestern U.S., okay, or just western U.S. in general. That's what you can kind of see there. So that's a look at the longer term forecast thoughts right now. If you got any value out of the video today, enjoy the analysis. Again, we always ask you to share it, post it on your pages, or subscribe to the YouTube channel for the latest. We appreciate you all. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.